My main tip for Royal Ascot thus far is Holberg in the Ascot Gold Cup. He was a good horse a couple of seasons ago for Mark Johnston, won the Queen's Vase here in really good style, beating Mastery, who was a subsequent Ledger winner. Last season he went to Godolphin, did well over shorter trips, won over 1 mile 4, even as short as 1 mile 2. And then went to the Melbourne Cup on his last start and ran a really courageous 6, and he was only 3 lengths off the mighty So You Think, which is really good form. This season he ran at Sandown on his comeback in the Henry II Stakes, but I think overnight rain and rain on the day of the race made the going all wrong for Holberg, and he still ran well to finish 3rd behind Blue Bayesian. If the ground's much better this time, which it should be, then I expect him to run a big race and he can bustle up the 2 market leaders, Fame and Glory and Rite of Passage. Now another one, a darker horse, if people want one for next week if he turns up, is to look out for Admiral of the Red. And Aidan O'Brien trains Colt, who's by Galileo of Miami, who was a Prix VMA and Yorkshire Oaks winner. He won really well at Leopardstown on his comeback in a maiden, decent maiden, 4th and 5th have won since. He might be a potential Queen's Vase horse. He's got an entry in the King Edward, and later on he's got an entry in the Irish Derby, so I think they think a lot of him at Ballydoyle. So that's another one to look out for, Admiral of the Red. But for the nap, it's Holberg.
My 2 best Ascot bets both run on the final day in sprints. The first is Elzarm in the Golden Jubilee. Change of tactics last time, brought a transformation from this horse. I think he's a Group 1 sprinter and a class act in what is a bit of a weak division. The other one I really like on the same day in the Wokingham is Imperial Guest. I thought a drop back to 6 was the making of this horse when he won a decent course and distance handicap last time. He might have the profile of a fairly exposed sprinter, but he hasn't run over 6 very much. He absolutely adores Ascot, and I think 20 to 1 is too big.
My nap for Royal Ascot is Shamoose in the Queen Mary. This filly was massively impressive when winning at Haydock late last month under Shane Kelly, travelling powerfully throughout before easily putting significant distance between herself and Frederick Engels in the last furlong. That horse advertised the form in no uncertain terms when posting a 3-figure effort himself at Musselburgh soon after, and could well make an impact in the Norfolk Stakes. Unlike many of the fillies with decent form on the board so far this year, Shamoose looks the type that can rate significantly higher, and if she can step forward as anticipated, she should be able to post the sort of figure we'd expect from an average Queen Mary winner.
My best bet for Royal Ascot is Dow Guy in the Golden Jubilee Stakes on Saturday. He was a high-class performer for Alain de Roy Dupré last season. He actually ran in the Queen Anne Stakes at this meeting. He's since joined Andrew Baldwin and shaped very encouragingly York on his debut for the yard. He was campaigned over a mile to begin with last season, but when he dropped to sprint distances, he showed a lot more. A lot of Andrew Baldwin's horses have been needing the run, and I expect him to improve, and I think he could shake up the market leaders on the Saturday of Royal Ascot.
My idea of a banker at Royal Ascot next week is Aidan O'Brien's progressive colt, Await the Dawn, who runs on the final day of the Royal Meeting in the Hardwicke Stakes. He emerged late onto the scene last season, showed a lot of promise, and this time around he came good at Chester at the May meeting, where he looked a colt of immense potential, and after that race O'Brien was quick to nominate the Hardwicke as his target at the Royal Meeting, and I think he'll take a great deal of beating there.
My best long shot for Royal Ascot would be the John Gosden trained Duncan in the Ascot Gold Cup. Now, he won the Yorkshire Cup last time out over a mile 6 furlongs. That was the furthest he'd ever been, but he showed great battling qualities and showed no signs of stopping. Gosden has gone on record to say he thinks he's found the best and how to get the best out of him at home. And I think a step up to 2.5 miles is definitely going to bring about improvement. And at around the 12 to 1 mark, I think he could really shake up the market principle. So he would be my best long shot. On a separate note, also look out for Nowhere to Go from the Tom Dascombe stable. He's entered in the Wokingham. He's not a guaranteed runner, but he's a big price. And looking at his form, he's previous course distance winner. He's starting to look really well handicapped. So if he lines up in the Wokingham, keep an eye on him because he could go well at a big price.
It's none of those group races for me. I'm a handicaps man, really, and the one bet I've had for Royal Ascot at this stage is Deacon Blues in the Wokingham. Lot to like about his second at the track on his comeback run. James Fanshaw's got a great record in these handicaps. He's especially good with the sprinters, and he's had a couple of Hunt Cup winners. And I just think Deacon Blues is going to run a massive race in the Wokingham.